Sam Green here from audiopropellor.com. In these videos, we're going to look at setting up MainStage 2, which comes with Logic 9, to do some live looping, get some backing tracks going, some drum machines, some effects, get it all hooked up into one cohesive environment for you to just improv in and just go wild in. So here we go. First, I'm going to show you how I have my setup right now with everything wired up, and then I'm going to do another little section that shows you how to set up some basics, and hopefully you can get to something like I have, a full featured setup from a little bit of instruction on how to set up the looper. So what I have here in MainStage is 3 loopers. You can see these visual representations of each one here, and those are all created at the concert level. So you create a loopback, and another loopback on different buses, 3, 4, and 5, and then we send, what I typically do is I send, say, my guitar, I send them to all 3 of them on the same amount, and what this lets me do is on my foot pedal I have different banks, like 3 different banks, and they all have the same controls. So each bank has record, undo, clear, play, stop, reverse, and I can go to bank 1 and it'll control this first looper. If I go to bank 2, it'll control the second, and so on. You can go for as many banks as you have. You could stack up a whole bunch of loopbacks. So that's the first part of it, using loopback, and then there's another thing that I'll eventually show you too, which is using playback synced up to loopback. So, and playback is a backing track player, and the neat thing about that is that you can have one long audio file in it and then have markers that have been created in Logic cutting the audio file up into, say, verse, chorus, and a bridge, and then you can play back those different sections. So playback can kind of act like a long form sampler where you can switch between different sections of your song, and then you can record loops over top of those, and it's all synced up, and it's really cool. So I'll just show you kind of what the end product of all this is. Although I don't have playback going in this example, what I do have is I have my drum pad. It's a Chord Nano pad hooked up to Ultrabeat. So what's going on here is I have Ultrabeat. Let's bring it up real quick because this is kind of a feature that you might not know about. And see this little full view button in here. This is what you normally see, all these controls jam-packed in here. And then you hit full view and you see a step sequencer type of grid interface. So that's neat. It's nice to have a pattern in here and be able to pattern if you like to do it that way, or program if you like to do it that way rather. But the thing that I didn't see here is that you can store different patterns on different note values. So C1 holds this pattern here that you see, and then I'll change it to C sharp 1, and you'll see a different pattern. So what you can do with that is, I don't know if you played around with some of the presets, but they'll have your lowest keys will be mapped to different beats, and this is how that's achieved. So what I did is I just have a few different patterns in C sharp, so these lowest keys down here, a few patterns here, and then I tell my drum pads here that they're going to trigger those notes. Okay, so, and you hit it again, it turns it off. So what that lets me do with loopback, and this is the way I like to do it so far, is to record in sync with a preset tempo. So I have a tap tempo hooked up to the upper right pad right here, this pad. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, and you can see this tap tempo up here changing. So I think what I need to do to get this going is just record a little. Okay, yeah, it just needs to start that beat count going. You got to start a loop back, so I'm going to stop that and clear it out, and I'm going to go back to my first bank here on my foot pedal. I'm hitting that right now. So now I'm back to this first loop back, and okay, so I'm going to get this drum machine going here. And then I'm going to record a first loop. So you can see I have that loop there. I have a progress meter. I have a tempo that's showing. And the one thing you have to remember with these loops too is that you can't change tempo in the middle of if you have a set of loops playing, they're not going to follow the tempo. They're not even going to follow and speed up like chipmunk style. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to stay the same, which is something they need to fix. It'd be nice to have the flex audio feature in this as well. Hopefully they get that done in MainStage 3. So I've just recorded one loop here, and it's synced up to the beat. So I'm going to start that playing again. So now I'm going to switch to my second bank, my second loop back, and then I'll be able to so I have another loop going there. You can do reverse type things. I can stop my other loop. So they're all independent, which is nice. And then the other thing I can also do, I'm inclined, I can go to loop 1 and I can get a copy of this file. Where do I do that again? Here it is. I can export the tape loop, export that to some other program, and maybe cut it up or something. So we'll just clear that out. I have a button mapped to all of these loopers to clear them. I need to get one mapped to stop here, so I can say stop. There's stop. Okay. One other thing I did, which isn't really a new feature, but I have the drum set up, and then I have this little XY pad on my nano pad, which you can see mapped to these sliders here. There's the Y and there's the X. And then I also have, whenever I touch it, it turns on this auto filter here. So we'll get the beat playing again. We'll get another one. Got a tape delay on. So I can hit this filter here and turn it on. Kind of play around with that. That's cool. And let go and it turns the filter off. Neat. So I also have some other effects mapped to buttons on the top row of this nano pad. Not the buttons, but the other pads. So like this will turn on a bit pressure. And I have like a super trigger right there. And my buttons are not functioning right now, so I could just get super trigger to turn off. There we go. So that's mostly all there is to that. The other thing I have mapped is a next patch and previous patch. So with my foot I can press and change to different instruments. So I have a crazy delayed guitar there, and then some other like drums I can do with by hand there. So it's pretty cool how you can get all your different instruments here on the left and play those through these LoopBack units. To do anything really complicated like verse, chorus, I don't know how you would do things like that. You just have to have a lot of different mapping set up to stop your different loop units and start other ones. But this is about as far as I've gotten right now. Hopefully I will start using this in a live performance setting with a drummer and with a band, and it'll be good. So next I'll show you how to just set up one of these loop units and map it to your hardware, and just the basics of getting that going. All right.